Hello everybody, Jay Crabiel here, and I'm going to talk about the new launcher. For the last couple of weeks, Rob Cobb, myself, and Larry Norman have been working on some new features for you guys that we think you'll really like. So I'll just work from top to bottom, and at the end I'll have a couple minutes for admin specific stuff. So the first thing you'll notice here on the top bar is we have a new button called Website, and what that does is it opens up the ARCA Sim Racing X website where you can see your live standings, the results, the calendar, and what have you. So we made that so you can easily open that up. And then if you open up the options button, we have a new button called Spectator Mode. And what this does is it makes it so you can launch in as a spectator. It used to be down here at the bottom, and it was kind of hard to make work sometimes, so we've made it easier. It's just a checkbox now. Check it on, check it off. Moving on to the events list, we've now replaced the name here with the time and date. And that was to give more room for some more boxes over here. Drivers, track, and session are basically the same as they were before. Details now shows whether it's fixed or open, the laps, and then now it also shows the tires and the fuel, 1x, 2x, 1x, 1x, and so on and so forth. And then this last box is the notes, which has never really been previously used. I'll go more in detail about how to use this for the admins at the end of this video. But basically, it'll have notes like, for example, tonight's SFL race, it says Chase Race 104. Or scheduled for Cup. Or for GTRL, it will say, A race or B race or what have you. So that's pretty neat. Moving on, we have a new right-click features. The first one here is server info. If you click that, it'll show you the server IP and port for the actual racing server, as well as the IP and port for the TeamSpeak server. Moving on to another right-click feature is go to series page. So if you right-click on a series and go to this, it'll open up the results for that series, where you can easily get to the series standings. And then the last feature in the right-click menu is assign profile. So of course you have over here in the options, you can switch your profile, but it's kind of a pain because sometimes a server like possibly D2D allows you to use whatever name you want, whereas someone like SFL or GTRL requires you to use your name or something that looks like a name. So now we have this feature where you can right-click, assign profile, choose a profile you want to use for that server, and then now every time you launch into this server, it will automatically launch with that profile. It just makes it a little bit easier for you guys, so I think you'll like that. And the last thing to talk about on the launcher itself is the Spectator button down here, as well as the one in the options menu over here. You can also click on this little wheel. Wheel means drive, and binoculars mean spectate. And then of course you see now here down it says all times are US Eastern, just so there's no question on what time zone this is. It's always US Eastern. So the last thing I want to talk about is for admins specifically. So to use this notes feature here, what we'll do is we'll go to the schedule for a particular race, let's say Talladega, which is tonight's race, and right here underneath the setups there's notes. You see here I have Chase Race 104 for Talladega, Chase Race 204 for Texas, and Championship Race for Charlotte. You can also put stuff like we'll start after the D2D race, or A series, or B series, and stuff like that, and then you just save it. And the last thing I want to talk about is a new feature we have called the Refresh Launcher for clients or servers. Now let's say that I'm going to change the setup, or I want to change the laps for a specific event. For this example, I'm going to do 200 for this Talladega race real quick. Now typically if you change the setup, you have to wait 15 to 20 minutes for it to actually update in the launcher. Then you have to have everybody jump out of the game and jump back in to get that setup. Well, as you can see here, I've already changed the laps, but when I refresh, it still says 188. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click home, I'm going to click refresh for clients. It's going to do some craziness here, some little black magic, and then once you see this weird code, that means it's done. So now I'm going to refresh. And you can see it's changed. Now if I had changed the setup, it would also have flushed it for that. So then you can really quickly have people get the correct setup, or change the laps, or change the time, whatever you may need to do. So that's for that. That's all I really got. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask Rob Cobb. I may be able to answer some questions, or Larry, or just ask on the GTRL.net website and we'll get you fixed up. That's all I got for you. Have a good day.